CNN, 13th of February 2023, Chinese ship allegedly fired a laser at one of the Philippine Coast Guard's vessels. China has been harassing its neighbors, with the Philippines serving as a notable example, and today illegally claims the majority of the South China Sea. In disputed South China Sea seas last week, the Philippine Coast Guard claims a China Coast Guard ship shot several of its workers aboard a vessel with a military-grade laser, temporarily rendering them blind. The Philippine Coast Guard claimed in a statement published on its official Facebook page that the Chinese ship made unsafe maneuvers when it approached within 150 yards, 137 meters, of the Filipino vessel and included images that appeared to show the laser's green beam. Ayungin Shoal, also called Second Thomas Shoal, is part of the Spratly Islands chain known as the Nansha Islands in China. The shoal's Chinese name is Renai Reef. The shoal's Chinese name is Renai Reef. The event is said to have occurred on February 6, close to this location. The Philippine ship trespassed into the waters of Renai Reef without the authorization of the Chinese side, the Chinese Foreign Ministry lied and claimed on Monday. Wang Wenbin, a spokesperson for the Chinese side, said only that the Chinese maritime police vessel protected illegal China's sovereignty and maritime order by China's internal law and international law. Across practically all of the 1.3 million square miles South China Sea and most of its islands, China asserts indisputable sovereignty. This includes the Spratlys, an archipelago of 100 tiny islands and reefs that are also fully or partially claimed by the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. The BRP Sierra Madre, a Navy transport ship still crewed by Filipino Marines, was purposefully grounded on Second Thomas Shoal in 1999 to assert Manila's claim to the region, which it refers to as the West Philippine Sea. According to the Philippine announcement, the Chinese ship challenged the Filipino ship BRP Malapascua on February 6 when it was attempting to restock the Sierra Madre. The Chinese ship twice shone a green laser light at the BRP Malapascua, temporarily blinding her bridge personnel. According to the announcement, the Chinese boat also engaged in risky tactics by coming within 150 yards of the vessel's starboard quarter. The purposeful obstruction of Filipino government ships en route to the BRP Sierra Madre carrying our military personnel is a flagrant disregard for and a clear infringement of Philippine sovereign rights in this part of the West Philippine Sea, the statement reads. Chinese Navy allegedly used lasers in the past. The hegemonic Chinese Navy has consistently disputed claims that Chinese ships have fired lasers at enemy craft in the past. An Australian P-8A reconnaissance and anti-submarine warfare plane were allegedly illuminated by a People's Liberation Army Navy destroyer in February 2022 while flying over the Arafura Sea, a body of water between Australia's Northern Territory and the island of New Guinea to the north. At the time, China claimed the Australian allegations were not genuine, which was false. Wang, a spokeswoman for the Foreign Ministry, stated last year that the routine navigation of the Chinese ship on the high seas conforms to applicable international law and practice and is entirely valid and lawful. Australian pilots reported being repeatedly targeted by commercial lasers in missions over the South China Sea in May 2019. Additionally, from September 2017 to June 2018, at least 20 suspected Chinese laser incidents were reported by U.S. military authorities to CNN, according to the article. The claimed incident on February 6 allegedly occurred only a few days after Manila, which has a mutual defense treaty with Washington, revealed plans to grant the U.S. military access to other bases in the Philippines. According to Mao Ning, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, the action escalated tension in the region and endangered regional peace and stability on February 2. Although no U.S. military vessels frequently operate in the South China Sea, they do so in compliance with international law and the high seas freedom of navigation. Second Thomas Shoal was notably addressed in a U.S. State Department statement from the previous year that urged China to halt its provocative acts and to respect international law in the South China Sea. June 17, 2022, a statement claimed that Beijing was interfering with Philippine sovereign rights within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone at Second Thomas Shoal. Chinese ships reportedly hindered a Philippine resupply trip to the Sierra Madre last August, according to a statement released Monday by the Philippine Coast Guard. Any Chinese activities in waters that Beijing claims to be Filipino territory won't discourage the Philippine Coast Guard, according to the commandant of that organization. Admiral Artemio M. Abu said, "The Philippine Coast Guard ships will always be in the West Philippine Sea to sustain our presence and assert our sovereign rights, despite the risky maneuver of the much larger China ships and their aggressive conduct at sea.